iMAXX podcast.
Hey,
Who else? Who else would I play right now? Hey.
China. Yeah. Yeah.
Go.
I've been with
I'm in the Civic.
45. I think we're good on the music.
Don't break the law. Don't go 80 and 45.
Go 80 and a 45. So we are live here on the first episode of the iMAXX podcast.
Yes, sir.
And today we have a very special guest and our very first guest, and his name is Vflo.
What's up?
Actually, that's
How's
just
everybody
a stage name. His real name.
I'm Victor Islas. Victor Daniel Islas, actually.
Oh,
Did you know my middle
I'm
name?
going to steal your identity now.
Hey, dude.
What's your social? It's
Give
a
me
funny, funny story about today. So I do landscaping. I'm a landscape contractor. I had a text message from a homeowner last week, and they were wanting me to come look at a job today. They gave me an address, gave me a name, everything. So this morning, I text the guy, hey, I'm on my way. We set up a meeting for 9 o'clock this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on my way to his house, texted him, let him know, just like I would anybody else.
Of course.
I looked the address up, and it was right beside one of my former customers' houses, so I didn't think nothing about it. So I got one of my project managers to come with me to look at the job. She was following me. We get to the house, and there's a gate there. And so I call the guy. No answer. Text the guy. Don't answer. I call again. As I'm calling, this big gate to this big old house opens up.
Oh.
And I was already a little sketched out because his text message thread was just like,
Okay.
that's the one I was telling you about last week. He was sketching me out. Anyways, get to the house. The gate opens up, right?
Yeah.
And a lady comes out with hair rollers in her hair. And,
Of course.
And, of course, yeah. And so she walks out, and she's like, hey, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I came to look at your hardscape project you text me about. Is Tony here? And she's like, no one named Tony lives here.
Oh.
And then I was like, well, look, I'm not a creep. I got it on text, so I showed her my text thread.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, my gate's right there, and you can go out that way. It's like, cool. So I got scammed for the first time, and it was pretty sketchy.
Oh, so the guy was...
Oh, it was a scam. It was a scam. Sent me to a house right beside a customer's house that I've already done work at. And, yeah, no one was there.
I would've
Lady
went to the
came
neighbor's
out,
house.
didn't know who I was. Also, I called him after that. I was like, hey, you might want to watch out. Someone scammed me and sent me to your neighbor's house.
Yeah, that's weird to have.
That's
Like, I mean,
sketchy.
obviously your address is going to be out there, but
So
for someone to
I don't
do
know.
that.
I had my wife look the number up. It's some dude in Colowee. I didn't think nothing about it. I just figured he had
Yeah.
his stuff set up in Colowee. Lived here. But anyways, it was a weird scam. I don't really know what they gained other than ruining my day. But
It took, yeah.
don't give your information out over the phone or text message. So,
That's a good lesson to learn.
and since then, my day has just felt really weird, like I'm trying to get out of a dream. But I keep pinching myself, and still awake.
And
As
we're
far
doing...
as I know, I don't know if I'm awake. I don't
Yeah,
know
we're
what
doing the
consciousness
podcast
means,
now,
so.
too, so that probably feels unreal as well.
Yeah, this is the first podcast. I've been wanting to do it for a very long time. So we're actually making it happen. So
I
thank you.
get to be first.
You are number one.
I'm number one.
So thank you for joining us today. I don't know how this is going to go, but
It's all right.
So
Just
what have
chilling.
you been? What have you been doing lately, man?
Well, so for those who don't know, I work with Max. I work for Max. Work together.
Easy,
Sorry.
Oh, damn.
I'm just playing. No, he's a great boss and friend. But I usually do that. I mean, I do that full time, Monday through Friday, not Saturdays anymore. Sorry.
Saturdays. We got to get back to Saturdays. Spring is coming.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, making music. I actually got an EP coming out on Valentine's Day.
An EP
So
coming out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So get your boo thing because it's definitely got all 5 songs that are on it are love songs.
What's the name of this album coming out?
It's called a Winter Arc.
Winter Arc.
So basically, I called it Winter Arc because, like, for those who don't know, it's like basically a seasonal thing that you do for yourself, whether that's like going to the gym or like just working on your mental health. It's kind of just like where you lock in and get your like stuff done. So what I ended up doing was making these songs, and I've been telling myself for so long that I was going to be making these like EPs, albums, and just never got to it. So I was like, all right, I need to lock in and like, what is it called? I guess just go solo, right? And just like block everything out. I'm not gonna go hang out with my
Put
friends.
some blinders
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna go. Yeah, tunnel vision, right?
Right.
And so I like, because I procrastinated so much for so long, and I'm like, I can do. I've done like 50 songs with friends, right? Plus, let's say just in the last year it was like 150 probably. And how many of those songs are out?
Maybe 5.
Maybe. So
Maybe
it's
5.
like, okay,
I know we have
I'm not doing
one or
things for
two.
myself, and I'm putting all this attention, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was putting a lot of attention to other people and like their needs instead of like focusing on my own. So I ended up, just being like, all right, I'm not gonna make music with anyone else. I'm gonna make music only for myself right now, just because this tape is really important. It's been important. Um, and I've already have names for albums and for EPs, but this one just came out of nowhere because I was like, this is what I'm doing. Winter arc. Like I'm working on myself, and I'm working on learning to not like lean on other people as well. Like just like you said, put my blinders on, tunnel vision, and just going for it. So that was really cool. That actually
So
got it
what do you
done.
think? What do you think kind of changed in your mindset? Because like I like to make music too, and
Yeah.
I put my first album out. Really, ever any kind of work of art kind of together, other than putting out singles. I did that last year, and I felt like this energy, and like I didn't want to put nothing old on it, and like all them new songs just kept coming, and there was definitely a different feeling whenever that album came to me
Yeah.
compared to like right now. I'd love to make an album, but it just is single after single, and I might
Yeah.
have some
And
ideas,
that's
but
okay,
like
yeah.
it hasn't like hit. So what do you think kind of snapped that went differently in this time
So
around?
I told you the other day, I went through my notes, and I was just like scrolling, just like looking for old songs, just like reminiscing, right? And whenever I was scrolling, like I had saw one that was like 2024 goals, because I every year I make goals in my notes, and obviously we try our hardest to achieve them. Realistic goals too. So I was like on there, and I was like, I had like an album, like reached like a certain amount of subscribers, whatever, and I didn't do any of that. And it wasn't that it wasn't achievable. It's just I didn't put in the work for it. So that like woke me up. I was like you're doing this now without even trying to like go for those goals, right? But now it's like, all right, well, here's your goal. Now we have the action for it, and what are we gonna do? The plan, right? So that was what like made me like realize
So you
like,
kind of had it journaled in your phone or on paper, or
well, yeah, just on notes, like telling myself,
so notes on your phone?
yeah. So like for this year, I was like, going through my ideas of what I want to do this year. So I want to come out with an album, a Pesala Click album. That's me, Chano, Max is part of it too. Well, me and Chano are like the head of it, and then Alex, Exila, Kane. So I want to have an album with all of us on it, and that's like doesn't have to be all of us on a song every single time. Be me me and Chano, you and Chano. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you and Chano haven't made a song. You and Alex
Yeah.
haven't made a song. You and Ben haven't made a song.
I missed
I'm like the middleman, so I'm like, all right, let's.
I missed the rap fest that one night. So sometimes with 3 kids.
No, it's okay. Yeah,
Uh,
we're gonna have to bring the
but-
studio to Max one day.
Man, look, I got 3 mics in the studio. There's a little bit of room in here, so. So the winter arc, what does that really mean to you? So you're talking about like getting locked in.
Okay,
you're kinda
yeah.
doing the winter arc.
So that was
on your
like-
own, like in the gym. So
Mhm.
so
Yeah, the name was just like based on that, but like the actual EP, it's just like different songs like that I've kind of gone through in my life. Some of it's kind of just like made up, just kind of like, you push the story a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not,
you
what
gotta
you know how
spice
it,
up
you know
a
how
little
it is.
bit. Yeah.
And I mean, like, you can story tell and tell you the truth at the same time. Tell your story. So, so like the first song is called ETA. It's called Estimated Time Arrival.
You gonna give a little snippet?
Yeah.
So the album's coming out next week.
Yeah. Yeah. So
At the time that we drop this, it'll be next week. So you
So
can give
this
us
song
a
is,
little bit of a snippet,
I got you.
just like a half a chorus or something.
So this song is basically about like, let's just say this guy gets with a girl, right? And he's been hurt so many times in the past, and just like trying to do it right all the time. He's not perfect, obviously, but this girl comes by, and he falls in love with her, but he's like, I shouldn't go. I'm not ready to commit fully yet. So it's kind of like a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But like you still have these obviously feelings that you can't get rid of because I mean the person's like you're just attracted to them. And so in this, the guy's talking about the guy.
The guy,
It's talking about like
who's this
I'm
guy?
not ready yet, but I'm on my way. Like it's gonna happen, but we need to just take our time and just let everything. Let's not rush anything. Basically. So she's asking me when my arrival is gonna be, which everyone's thinking I'm just like
Maybe
gonna go
what's
come
your
hang out. No,
ETA?
it's not that. It's like actually like mentally, and how I want to be with in a relationship. So here's a little snippet. This song goes so hard. It's the first one on the EP.
Have you performed this one live yet?
I have performed this one live.
When do you perform live again?
Me and Channel got invited to go do a Valentine's Day performance with Trauma Gang. Shout out Trauma Gang. Shout out Gang Beef Entertainment. They're both gonna be there. El Quality's gonna be performing. I think Loki. I just did South by Southwest thing
I
with
can
him.
put their little banner for the advertisement during
Oh
this
yeah,
part.
yeah, be great.
It'll be official.
But so yeah, they're gonna be there. But yeah, that's my next show.
Where's this thing gonna be at?
It's gonna be at the Odd.
In Nashville.
That's in Nashville, yeah, Asheville, North Carolina. Not
can
Nashville. People always like, "Are you from Nashville?" No.
Not Nashville,
Ash-
but Asheville.
Ash.
So Asheville's getting a music scene. They
Yes,
probably
yes,
always
yes.
had a music scene.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
so
like,
yeah, we
hip-hop
haven't
seems
really.
to be growing in the
Yeah.
area.
And there's a lot of talent in Nashville. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of good people out there. So it's definitely good to like have not competition, but a friendly competition. And, like, be humbled as well. Just like knowing that, this art that you're creating is not perfected yet, and you just like. You're building yourself as a person, as an artist as well too. So it's not just like making songs; it's about like performing those songs and like
Making
you
them
are
come
the
to life.
song. Yeah, bring it to life.
Getting
Like
the crowd involved.
yeah, I want to experience it, which is cool about the podcast because I can actually like tell
can
people
be-
it's storytell, right?
Yeah. Let's
So I
get
was
that
just
snippet.
the snippet right here. I don't even know if the intro is that long. Hey, might take a second, but it's fine. Hey, hey. Can't show no PDA. So yeah, it's fire. But so that's the first one on the EP.
You got 5 songs coming
I've
out.
got 5 songs, yeah. So we can go real quick on it. The second one's called Kura. So that's a funny story. It's actually like a more upbeat song, one you can actually dance to.
Hell yeah.
But this one's about like just a shot at being 100 with you, like being down for you, and sometimes you be like, hey, if you're getting chased, right, just to ride or die, like go 100. So the Crow is a type of car.
An Acura?
Yeah, Acura. Yeah. Well, there's
That's for all the white people listening to
there's
this.
a Cura Acura, right? It's like a SU, or I guess like what is it, SUV? No, maybe small. What are the smaller ones called?
I guess they're just a car.
I guess.
Like there's Acura cars.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This one's like basically like a mom car, like soccer mom car kind of.
So like more of a.
But it's just like it
damn,
just makes
all
it
the car
funny
people
too
are gonna
because she's
hate
just
me.
like whipping in the Cura Acura.
That's
Yeah, it's a
baby.
typo. Yeah, in the
gotta-
Cura, baby. So that one's really cool. Just like your shawty going 100 for you. And then there's I think it's vacation. Yeah, that one's a fun one. Okay. So the funny story about this whole EP is that whenever I was like gonna release it on TuneCore, there was the beats that I wanted that I had used were already bought. So the rights were gone.
Oh,
to
the whole
somebody
beat
else.
was completely bought.
Whole beat is gone. So I
Oh,
had 2
dang.
songs on the EP that I can't use now, which is okay because everything works out for a reason.
Did you
right?
buy your beats for this one?
I did buy my beats for this one before I even, because I didn't want to go through that again. So
Shout out to the producers out there that make the beats.
Yes, yeah. So shout out to producers because like that takes a lot to get a beat,
And the
especially one
beat,
that you like.
makes like okay, so the lyrics, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's one thing, and the way you perform it's one thing, and then the beat has to. All 3 things have to match, right?
Oh yeah,
Because
easily.
if you got a great beat and some trash lyrics and some trash freaking vocals, like it's gonna make that beat look terrible.
Yeah,
And then if you don't got a good beat but you got great vocals, great lyrics and everything,
it's just yeah.
so you gotta have all 3. And so the producers always seem like they get they get downplayed a little bit, and I've not been perfect about shouting out the producers like I need to.
Always try and support them if you can. I know money's tight sometimes, and there's ways of doing things, but that's like one of the things that like definitely got my lesson learned on that one. Cause
think about like somebody stealing your lyrics.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
it's like I'd be really upset if that happened. So,
or like if this podcast got stolen, so I got to figure out how to do all the rights on that.
Yeah. But so I mean, so other than that, like I ended up having to make 2 new songs, Admit and Vacation. And
how long ago did you make these 2 songs?
So I made literally 2 weeks ago. I think I submitted it the 5th
of January.
I think no, sorry. I think it was the 12th. No, sorry, 16th of January that I put it out.
You dropped it on TuneCore.
Yes, and so everything happens for a reason, right? But there was so much going wrong with this EP that was like giving me every reason to not do it. As of like the years before, like I just had no reason. I should have just put them out, right?
You got like hundreds of songs on your phone.
Yeah. And so like this one time that I'm actually trying to put out an EP, I'm having like these troubles, and it's like the world's going against me, and I'm like, no, like this shit's gonna drop. It's gonna be good.
So how long? Okay, so you drop it on the 16th, right? How long before that did you realize that you couldn't use those 2 songs?
So I tried dropping it on the 14th because we try and drop the song at least a month in advance, just so that way if anything does happen, you have time to fix them. Because sometimes it's not perfect. It'll take 2 weeks to a month for the song to be sent to all stores. So yeah, I made these. So I made those songs on the 14th, and then the stuff happened after that where they were like came back to me red flag on my stuff.
Oh, so you sent it off, and you sent all the original songs off on the 16th.
Okay, so I had already made these songs. So we'll go back before that. Sorry.
Okay.
So we'll go back. Gotcha. So yeah, I made these songs. I think it was like the 10th of January, the 10th and the 11th, because it was like one day I was like, I made a song. Boom. All right, I replaced that one. All right, I'm gonna give myself a break. Next day, let's try and find a beat.
So you found out though, like literally like a week before you're planning to drop this thing that you can't use.
Oh yeah, because I went to buy my beats before putting it out to all stores. And then I go to find the beats, and I'm like, okay, YouTube has it, but BeatStars doesn't have it anymore. And it's saying it's free. So I'm like, do I use the beat? You know?
So you're planning on dropping on the 14th, and it's around the 10th right now, and you're checking all your beats.
Yes. And I'm like freaking out.
And so you had 5 songs originally, so now you're down to 3 songs.
I'm down to 3 songs. God. I'm down to 3 songs. The whole EP going to sound a lot different, but not as good if I would have went with the original. So that's why I do think like there's a reason for all these things, and why I got flagged, and why I couldn't buy the beats, and why it was postponed so much. It's because like what it is now is what it needed to be. That makes sense. So that's a really cool part. So I'm really excited about this.
So you made a song on the 10th and the 11th.
And the 11th,
and you pushed your date back to the 16th. So you had 5 days to mix, master, and get those 2 songs plus your other 3 all to sound like an album. Which
is cool. Shout out TuneCore.
Sometimes the best work is like in the last minute, in the final stretch, like you like in football, like that final 2 minutes of the game. Like everybody's like, I feel like every game's pretty much determined in the last 2 minutes, and then what did they call that? I don't know. All the football fans are gonna hate me. I should know this.
I don't know. I play
2-minute drill.
I
that's
kick
what
balls
it's
to
called.
my feet.
The 2-minute drill. But yeah, I was watching the game the other night, and it was one of the Eagles games, not the last one, but I think the one before that. Not the snowy one. I don't pay attention to football much anymore. But I was watching the game, and it went down to like the last 2 minutes, and they lose the game. Whoever they were playing lost to the Eagles, like on their last. It was I don't know. I'm terrible.
Bears. I don't know.
But no, the Bears. No.
I don't know.
So if you're a football
just
fan,
start saying names.
You can hate me. It's okay. I don't pay attention. I used to listen. I used to watch sports all the time. I was like diehard fan.
Yeah.
Especially baseball, like diehard Red Sox fan. But after 2020, seeing all the fake fans in the stands and everybody preaching at me to tell me how to live my life, I just kind of cut all sports off and started focusing on work.
Yeah.
So
that was a good move. That was a good move.
So started kind of dove in, kind of like what you're talking about, diving in. You got that last week left. And how was the pressure building up to the 16th?
I was, dude. So what sucked about it is that like I was super excited, right? And then like that's like a buzzkill. It's like just someone like a cop showing up to a party when you're underage and be like, party's over, right?
True.
So it was like that, and I
Damn.
was just like, okay, well, what do I do now? Like I'm leading up to, I'm getting all the songs I already had. Like you said, I have already had like 100+ songs. So I found my best ones, and I was just like, all right, this is it. And for me waiting that long, that's also my fault, which is why I'm gonna start really nailing all this stuff.
Like we were talking about a minute ago. Sometimes I do my best work in that. I'm a terrible procrastinator, and I'll do my best work in that last. Like if I know I gotta get that. Like I didn't drop mine. So when I dropped my album, okay, I literally finished it on Sunday night and dropped it that Sunday night. And well, I put it on DistroKid on Sunday night and had it playing to drop on Friday of the same week. And that was pretty stressful because I was telling everybody for months that this album was coming out, and sometimes I get to be a perfectionist in there.
Yeah.
And so I'm like playing with everything, trying to get it finished. And again, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to add another song or two. And 2 songs came to me in my last week of trying to make the album.
And then you're like, I'm going to add these.
And I'm like, I love these 2 songs.
Yeah.
And so then I had to kind of figure out their placement because I already had the album kind of placed.
Dude,
so I'm trying to figure out how this is going to sound now. And it kind of adds to the album, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I feel like I did my best work. But there's also a huge amount of stress kind of involved with that. And so I don't know. I don't recommend procrastinating to everybody, but for me it seems to work pretty good.
So it wasn't just the songs that I had trouble with. I also had trouble with the cover art.
Ooh,
that was like,
what happened there?
So I sent it in, right?
What software do you use?
So I use TuneCore to like release all my to release my music and everything. But I made my my EP on CapCut.
On CapCut.
So the thing that also sucked, which is what I was getting to, is that so TikTok got removed, right? And so CapCut, I guess, technically has like the same company, same owner, whatever. So they ended up getting wiped off too. So I'm like,
right on the weekend that you're trying to finish this thing.
So it had already been sent in, but they flagged my cover because I put explicit advisory on there, and they were like, "Do you have explicit lyrics?" Because I sent all my lyrics in, so which is gonna be cool for those who don't
be able to read along and listen.
So they were like, "Do you have explicit lyrics? Because we don't see any, and if you don't have any, take off take it off your logo." And I was like, dang. I was like, why are you being so anal about this? But I also understand like that's their job, right? So, by the way, customer service is amazing on TuneCore. Like they literally got back to me within like a few hours or the next day, which is on email. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So they reached out and they're like, so you got to change the thing. So I'm like, okay, cool. Go to CapCut to do like the Photoshop to remove the sticker, and it's gone. I can't use it, and I'm like freaking out. So I was like, all right, what other ones are there? So there was Canva. For those who don't know, Canva is also another software you photo editing. That's
where I made my logo for my business.
It's actually really good. Like if you do want to make like cover art or just like pictures, whatever. Like
or like if you're making content, like it's another one where you can kind of customize what you're wanting to say in your background.
Yeah.
I really like Canva, and I got the pro version, and you can kind of customize a little more.
Yeah.
But I like CapCut too, as far as like making my lyrics
or
my lyrical videos.
Oh yeah.
I don't use AI to write my lyrics.
So it was cool because it had like this feature that you can just like delete it without having to like mark it out, because they'll give you like a box that you can like mark out around, right? Like Adobe would be like more like a pen, but this is like you box it out and it vanishes. So I was able to like just click on it, which was cool, and it just went away and it was like done. And I was like, oh, perfect. So I got rid of the advisory on there, and so I sent it back in. There was no problem, so everything's all good. I ended up getting, I think, messaged, well, what's today? Maybe the 20th or something like that, that like it was sent to all stores. Yeah, so really it's just...
Did you do any special promotion for it? Like, I know some people like do like some campaigns. You got any insight on that, or you just kind of raw dogging it out there?
Just honestly, yeah, just raw dogging, dude. Yeah, I just want it to be like organic, and I want I'll push it once it comes out, and me and Max have been working on a lot of content. like lyrical videos or just like doing dancing.
How
like
important do you
music
think
videos.
content is to driving people to listen to your music?
So nowadays, like it's just part of it. Like if you're making music, like another way you can get noticed is by doing social media, and you can only get noticed on social media not only just being good at making music, right? Like you gotta be good at making the videos.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like
think it's
same
really
thing
expensive
performing.
if you're trying to get someone to shoot all your
100%.
videos and mixing all your videos. So it's like it's a whole nother layer
Yeah.
as an artist now if you're wanting to actually get your music heard. And it's another way to like actually like paint the picture you're wanting to say in the song. I really enjoy making videos, but it is a whole nother stressful job to try to do, especially if you're wanting to kind of drop a piece of content a few times a week or like like every day.
Yeah. There's so much that goes into
hours
it, bro.
and hours of editing.
Yeah.
And so it kind of takes away from some of the fun of the music, which I think you had some issues with. Like towards the end, you kind of what were you doing towards the end of your album to kind of hone in on that focus?
I don't know. I think it was just like not going out because I was like I was getting procrastinated and just like just chilling, really. And so just like being lazy, just like I have to do this. Like there's no, like now since it's already out, right? Like now the time is I have to lock in, right? I got to do Winter Arc again, but for creating content and making videos and doing all these things, like I can't just like drop it and then expect the world to hear it by not doing any, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the same thing with commercials. Like you're not gonna go and wipe your butt with the best like toilet paper if you don't see it, right?
True.
There's like it's promoting, but
I saw on Instagram earlier, like with the content that like trying to make something that's organic and trying to make something real to you instead of just being all salesy. Instead of like, because people when they're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you're putting your content, TikTok, like people aren't going on there to buy stuff. Yeah, exactly. So, and you're pretty much...
Unless you're using Temu.
Everybody clicks on those ads. $50 off today.
I know.
But like, you gotta, like, so you gotta be really creative because you don't want to be like, hey, go hit play, because that's so, like, 2016, everybody going to put play in all the alarm signs and signals on your post. Hey. And you don't want to be that guy that's posting every day, listen to my music, listen to my music.
Don't, I promise y'all, we know it's annoying, but we have to do it because
what I've seen today and what I've been trying to get into some of my videos, and I'm sure you're working on it too, is like, how can I capture your attention without being too salesy? And like how can I capture
more authentic with
authentic stuff and like the process, and like, or how can I make my video edits really clean but not try to sound too salesy, because then I feel like when you're trying to be too salesy, then people are just like ignoring it. And it's pretty difficult when you're wanting to be an artist and it feels like you put all this time and effort into a project, and then it gets 10 plays and it's like, God. Or it gets 40 plays and you're like, I mean, I appreciate every view, of course, but like you're putting it out wanting to, you always had that little glimpse of hope that like this could be the one that just blows up. But again, you got to have really good content if you want to have that chance. Plus, you're getting to paint the picture of the new song or the story you're trying to tell, and it's a whole nother dimension. And I feel like it's really fun to do, a lot of work, but super important to trying to get people to recognize that you're making music.
Yeah, I think it was definitely easy. Well, I wouldn't say it's easier back in the day. Like, obviously, you had to go out instead of, because there wasn't social media. So now you have to go outside of your house and do stuff, right, to promote. So the good thing about nowadays too is that like if your local town doesn't know you, right, like what can you do? Go out, right? So that's when we started doing open mics and performances, and then people like you and they want to add you more, and then that brings into new opportunities where you can network with people. So if you don't have that content and those music that behind it, right, like what do people have to see for it? So it's like, like I was looking up this one guy, I'm not gonna name him, but I was like, this guy's fire. I've seen him perform. I don't think he's from Asheville, but he's fire. Went to his Facebook page, couldn't find anything, any music, and I'm like, he's like, coming soon. No links, nothing. And I'm like, yeah, you have like these promotional videos, like I'm dropping this soon, and it's like, okay, well, that was like 2 months ago. What? How like soon is soon?
How important? Okay, so like whenever you're going to, like, I have a song ready, right? Or I used to get in a big rush to like, this music's coming out, but then Friday would come. I got caught up at work. The song wasn't done. It was about 70-80% done. And then it just kind of turns out that I never dropped the song. Like, I hate looking at some of my Facebook memories because it will say, I'll see where I'm promoting this song. I even put the name out, everything. And then I drop the ball and I don't drop it. And I feel like you lose fans that way, or people that you might be getting.
Consistency, right?
So it's like, I think it's really important for me. And I mean, maybe not everybody, maybe other people work better under pressure. But that's a lot of pressure whenever it's Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. You're 70-80% of the song done. You want to drop it Friday because you're just itching to drop it. Mm-hmm. And then you don't drop it. And then anybody that wanted to listen to that was maybe looking forward to it's gone. And then the next time you go put it, this little boy who cried wolf, like no one's, I don't care. And then they might not even care this time. And you might actually drop it, and then you're losing fans.
No, I think I've definitely noticed that.
So having a project done completely before you start promoting, and I feel like that's what you were doing before you really started saying, hey, I got an album ready. You had the songs for the most part completely done. You had your cover art picked out. And I feel like that's really important, because I see so many people like what you're saying is, I got a song coming out. Oh, it's 2 months. Like, I don't care after 2 months.
Well, and the thing that like also happened to me, well, like we kind of refer to that. So I've been making music for like 7-8 years now. And whenever I first started making music, like I was all go. I had people's attention, like people from school. It was a year after high school, so like I was still in like connection with a lot of friends from high school, and so like I had their attention, and I had a lot of plays, and I mean I was like on SoundCloud, and I was getting like thousands. I mean, one of my highest ones was Voicemail, and that got 13,000 views. And you were like asking me like, how'd you do that? And I was just like I was just posting.
Do any special promotion to get 13,000
No, so
views?
I was putting out like a song every month at the time. So I was like, I had the ball rolling. It was just good, and then I dropped the ball. And
how long of a break did you take?
So it was like 2 years. 2
years. Right after you got 13,000 views, you take a 2-year hiatus.
Yeah, I know. Well, it might have been longer than that, honestly. And MAXX is honestly the reason why I got back into music. So it was like, it was definitely it was a blessing and a curse kind of thing. Like I said, stuff happens for a reason. So now we're back and doing it, but it's also
for a year now.
For a year, yeah. MAXX definitely got me out of my my shell, and I did one of my first performances, or like open mics last year in January, and it was just like looking back at the videos, I'm like, imagine if he had a song that blew up and he went to go perform it. Like, that would have been, like, very embarrassing. So now, like, really perfecting that, I mean, still needs work. You can never have too much. And it's like ACG says, like, it's like basketball. Like, you can never get too much practice. Like,
true.
You can always throw a ball. You can always spit bars. But, like, can you perform it? Can you show it? Can you do it in front of people?
Because it's way
you can
different.
You can do it in front of the mirror. That's fine. That's cool.
My first time ever was this past January. Thinking, you got me out of my shell of performing. I had never performed. Well, we kind of did like this one little high school thing at a basketball tournament. So I guess that was technically my first one. And that one, I was even more frozen. Couldn't remember my words. The speaker jacks up during the middle of our performance in the second song. So we got the first song out. But the first time I ever performed, I'm super stiff, and I'll go back and watch the videos. And not that I'm much better today, but I actually feel a little loose. I'm trying to get the crowd involved a little more. But, like, being so stiff, and it's crazy to go back and see that. But, like, just what you, like, unlocking levels in your mind to go make music, because then you're when you're in the studio making a song, you're thinking of how you're going to perform it and how it's going to make the people feel when they're listening to the song, instead of just being... Because I get caught up in my head way too much sometimes in my music. Most of my songs I don't drop. But some of them get super deep, too dark to really share. But like when you're performing, I feel like it unlocks a whole nother level. And you're, like you were saying earlier, like networking with people, being able to go back, watch yourself, see how you want to perform. Because if you do have a song that blows up but you can't perform, you might be hot for like 1 or 2 minutes, but then after that, you're
everyone's like, what the heck? And
it would be a lot easier to get your practice in with 20 people, 50 people, 100 people watching you compared to having thousands of people.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, that's always a dream. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, the good thing about performing is like the lights are in your eyes, so you can't really see the crowd like that. I
always try to look at the back of the back of the venue.
Yeah, look above people's heads too. Like you don't
Which
have to look at them in their eyes. Like just above their head is like a pretty good one. Like looking like that,
like,
you know.
like
So you're not
looking
making
at
eye
the forehead.
contact. Yeah, you're not looking at like eye contact would be weird. Like
it just depends on it depends on the setting too, because like when you're doing a smaller room and there's like 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
Like I got really involved like 2 shows ago, because everybody was kind of, and you know that everybody's actually listening to you, and so sometimes you get a little scared because everybody's like looking at you, and you feel like they're looking at you and you're naked up there on stage.
Yeah.
But like if you can get them involved, like I don't know, like I went
Shout
through
out.
and started giving everybody high fives at the last show.
It was so fun. Yeah, Max just started dapping up everybody. I was like,
once I started going, I was like, well, I can't leave nobody out,
Yeah.
so I just gotta keep
I get
going.
so hyped when he goes to perform now. I'm like, you better start high fiving people. Like the guy that be known for that.
So, but
No, it was good though.
But it just I love performing. So like there's like what do you think's the most important? Obviously having the music, making the music, and trying to perfect that all the time is very important. You got to have content. That's very important. You got to be able to perform it.
I think
if you're really trying to get out there and make people know who you are, which one out of those? Well, obviously you have to have the song to put out. So out of content or performing, which one do you think's more important?
Dang, that's a good question, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, I never really thought about it. Like, I think they're.
I mean, because like when you go perform, like even doing competitions, because everybody feels like, oh, I have to try to sell my own show. But like you can go to a competition, and I think we went to one in Raleigh last year. There had to be like 200 people in that room.
Yeah, that's true.
And so like that's like the most people I performed in front of.
Yeah, when are you gonna get another 200
like,
people in front of your video?
And then after that show, you're going out and you're talking to people, and like you get like 10 followers in one night off of that.
Yeah.
And then like you'll put a video out and you might get 1 subscriber. But at the same time, like we talked about before, is when you're putting that content out every day, people's like even subconsciously, if you're putting the same clip of the song out with a different video, they're learning that song or learning that part of the song, and then they want to hear more, which kind of turns into a view. And so like, and I've had this thought before too, like, okay, well if I perform in front of 200 people, I had 200 views that night. But my song on YouTube only has 200, 300, 400, 500 views on it. Yeah. So like, which one's really more important? Which one do you think's making you grow more, or do they have to go together? I feel like they have to go together.
They have to go together, but
if really
we were, I mean, like we say, we go back to like how it was back in the day. Like then performing would be like
I don't feel like there was such a scene for performing like there is now, at least in our area.
Yeah.
Because like back in the day, like 2016 is when I first started dropping, and like I could drop and I get 200 views in one night off of Facebook or Instagram.
They just start walking by, giving you the mixtape with the CD.
Yeah. I didn't. I was writing songs. I wasn't really recording.
I think we were like in Mississippi or something, and some guy was like, "Hey, check us out." I was like,
I was at a gas station one time. This dude was in a bus, like a tour bus, and he came over and was like, "Hey man, you gotta listen to my CD." And I think I ended up buying it for like $10 on the.
Oh shoot!
I'm not a very good person at saying no, especially whenever you're pushing me in a parking lot.
If he came out of a bus, I probably would have bought it.
He seemed legit. I don't remember his name. He's some country rapper dude, but it was
Morgan Wallen.
Back, I mean, like, and I know I was saying back then sounds like, but I mean, I guess that was like 10 years ago or more.
Oh no, things change a lot, which is like why we have to adjust to how things are now. So if like, I mean, technology is huge.
Like even since like 2020, I feel like everybody like, and one thing I've noticed like trending on like Instagram, at least like in my feed, I know everybody's feed's different, but there's a lot of content creators that are learning that if they teach other people how to make the content, they're getting more views. Yeah. So like 2020, 2021, I'm sure there was videos out there like that. They just hadn't reached my feed yet, or there definitely wasn't as many going out. Mm-hmm. And so now, like, if you want to learn how to make any kind of video or any kind of cool edit, like, all you got to do is just look it up. Yeah. Or like it's one thing I've done on my Instagram is back in the day, I used to have just a bunch of poison that was poisoning my mind every day.
Just go
and somebody gave me some advice saying like, why don't you delete everything that you think is poison on your Instagram? And just try to follow stuff that builds you up mentally, or your hobbies, because you're going to find a lot more stuff. And doing that about a year ago, I literally deleted everything I could that I felt like was poisoning my mind on Instagram.
Yeah, just trash.
And then now, mostly all I see is people making music, talking about music editing, people making videos and talking about video editing, and like inspirational stuff. So every time not that I feel like you should scroll all the time.
Yeah.
And then I have friends that I haven't but that post crazy stuff. That could be poison. But for the most part,
not me.
But for the most part, like I'm seeing nothing but like people like telling me how to make videos. And so when you're seeing other people make those videos, you realize, oh, anybody can do this. And like
he spams me all the time.
I do. Like it's like a master class on your inbox.
No, it's really good though, because it's like the information's there and it's for free. How much does it cost to have Instagram? Nothing.
Not a dime.
Not a dime, and you can have everything right there at your feet. Like it's just putting it to action. Really.
Well, it's like a lot of like your news companies are starting to go to YouTube and stuff because it's way cheaper than having a whole broadcast center.
Yeah. And
you're getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times the views on a video that you can make from your cell phone that's in your pocket. That's $1,000 compared to having a multi-million-dollar operation.
Yeah.
And you're getting less views with that operation to your phone. So like everybody, and it's a weird time that we're in because like I still watch a TV like the box, but I don't watch like cable. I don't watch a lot of I don't really watch a lot of Netflix or really any subscriptions. I'm on like free YouTube.
Yeah.
And I like to like put all kinds of voices in my head. I watch a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of music videos. I mean, it's all on YouTube.
Who do you watch?
It's free. So I like to watch Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, the Alpha Male page. You know, everybody hate me for that. Lately, I found one actually over this. I was driving home from church this past weekend, and I was scrolling on YouTube and I was trying to find a video because it's probably terrible and I probably shouldn't admit this, but I was trying to find a video to watch on my way home from church because I like to watch videos while I'm driving.
Yeah.
I put it out of my line of sight and I listen to it mostly.
Yeah.
But I was scrolling and I scrolled past a video called The Miracle Morning, and it was a podcast. And it wasn't the podcast called The Miracle Morning, but that was the name of that episode.
Gotcha.
So I scrolled past it and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to watch that. Couldn't find anything else I was interested in. Yeah. And I'm really terrible at waking up. That's why I have to work for myself because I can't. I would get fired if I worked anywhere else. I don't ever get up on time. Yeah. So anyways, I scrolled back up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this video. So I watched about 30 minutes of it on the rest of the way home. And it was about a book. It was actually the author of the book. I'll have to think of his name. But he was kind of talking about the book and how he implements these practices every morning when he first wakes up. And he calls them the savers. So S means for silence, or like meditating, praying, really kind of coming with one, trying to quiet your mind because everybody nowadays is so busy. Yeah. Like trying to meditate, pray, kind of get that moment. Yeah. And then A is for affirmations, kind of saying, I can do this, I will do this, I am this, blah, blah, blah. And V is for vacation. Not really. V is for visualization and like really trying to get into like the aspects of meditating and visualizing what you're thinking about, really seeing who you want to be. E is for exercise, which everybody I feel like needs to do some sort of exercise.
At least 30 minutes.
At least 30 minutes. Go on a walk. Do something. The R is for reading, and then the S is for scribing or journaling. Yeah. And so I'm on day 3 today. And then so after that podcast, I went to Audible and downloaded the book. And so I've been listening to the book, and I made it through chapter 7. Nice. So I'm not an expert yet.
How's it feel?
Oh, it's been kind of life-changing. Do
you recommend it?
Oh, I would definitely recommend it. And I've been praying and meditating, and I really like those practices. And visualization. I mean, I've kind of done everything really on the savers. I just didn't really ever think about putting them all together into a morning ritual. And consistent. I'm not I haven't ever been consistent at really any of them for a long period of time. Exercise probably the most, but I still need to exercise more.
You and me both, bro.
But that's a whole other story for another day. But trying to implement all 6 of those practices in the morning, the first thing you do as you wake up. Yeah. And the last 3 days has been awesome. Also in the book, I'd say read the book. listen to the book, get that information in your head,
Mm-hmm.
because like he really goes into good detail on like what each one of those practices, like how to try to do them to the best, and not really like all the hype on them or what you hear on a podcast or what you hear on just anybody talking about affirmations, because it gets like a voodoo kind of feel to it, or meditating or anything. He really talks about the processes of how to properly do them, and then like how to like get your mind right at nighttime so that you're excited to wake up the next morning to do your practices. So I'm looking forward to keep doing it. So
I was doing some meditating at night, and it wasn't just like you said, like affirmations. It was just like how to be one with your body before you go to bed, and just like you said, setting up for the next day. So just be like really just focusing on your breath, and then like taking deep breaths, and just letting your body like melt into the bed. You know,
like non-sleep deep rest.
Yeah, try it whenever you go to bed. Like just let your body just melt into the bed.
It's crazy, like just how breathing can calm you down.
Oh yeah.
I do like watching Andrew Huberman on the Huberman Lab podcast. I watch nothing but podcasts. That's why I'm doing a podcast. But but like I've watched a lot of his stuff on like breathing exercises, and like when you're really stressed or anything, he talks about taking one really deep breath that's like 90%, and then taking that last 10% before you exhale, and you breathe in through your nose like
really
blowing out with your mouth. But like he said, like if you do that when you're like really angry, or when you're really stressed, or before you're about to make a bad decision, if you can trigger that thought in your mind. Well, like it's amazing just how like doing a breathing thing like that can help bring you back down to calmness, so that you can make the right decision in that moment. I just did it. I feel better.
That's crazy.
Chill going through my body.
That's
but
cool.
like doing those breathing exercises, and a lot of people just think it's a bunch of
Bullcrap.
witchcraft or whatever. Or I mean, I feel like there's definitely healthy ways to do it, and there's unhealthy ways to do it. Which that's another podcast in itself. But like I do feel like trying to figure out who you are, like becoming one with your mind and your body, and realizing that your spirituality, your physical body, and everything all is together, and trying to realize that, especially on a daily basis.
It's just a good way to be present.
And that's kind of what we're doing with music. You got a thought in your head. I don't know. I'm sure you've had this experience where you've had a song playing through your head all day, and you don't know how to get it out. And so you come home after work or whatever you've been doing that day, sit down, and you're just trying to explain what's been going on in your head all day, because you've had these melodies or whatever popping through your head all day long, and you just got to get it out. And so I feel like music, especially for me, has been more of a way to meditate, and a way for me to pray, a way for me to talk to God. And I feel like 99% of my music has been more of a prayer to God than really, and like really trying to understand what's my purpose in life. And because I know like if I go a while without making music, or trying to have some kind of practice of praying, meditating, trying to realize that this life is more than just greed and money, and trying to do all this stuff. I get in a very dark place if I don't do that. So every once in a while, when I catch myself there, I'll go hop in the studio and make a song that no one's ever going to hear. But it is a really good way to get those thoughts out.
Yeah, not an escape, but it just kind of helps you like be present for a little bit, you know. I mean, making music started off as like not even something that I wanted to do for fun. Like it was just an escape as well. Like just like speaking my words into the song, right?
Because like I don't know about you, but me, like I feel like a lot of my music has been prophetic in my life almost. Because I was talking about like I wanted to open my own business and be an entrepreneur. I've always felt that call in my life, but like I'll go back to listen. It's terrible music, by the way, but I'll go back and listen to my first songs when I was like 16, 17, 18, trying to learn how to write and rhyme and everything. And like the overall theme of that music is I'm going to be great. I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to be the boss. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And most of those things I was talking about without even having an idea of what I was going to do then have like mostly came true. And then like I've made songs, and like a lot of times I'll freestyle. And maybe we can next is talk about like how you craft a song. I'd like to talk about that. But like I like to freestyle. And I feel like that's a way of all this thoughts that's running through your head. Because like if you can visualize and you can empty your mind right before you hop on the microphone for a freestyle, or trying to make a song, trying to get a new feeling of what you're doing that night. I feel like that freestyle is like what's going on subconsciously in your head, or stuff that's going to happen. I don't know. There's a weird thing about it, because I'll do a freestyle, write some lyrics, make that song, and at the moment it might not make any sense of why that's on my head.
Yeah.
But then 2-3 weeks later, after I've wrote it and I've been listening to it on my headphones, riding around or whatever, like some lyric or something clicks in my head, and I'm like, I was telling myself about what's happening today, and I don't even know it. It's like it's crazy. And I've always felt like music, and I feel like almost every artist has almost got that. If you're being genuine and authentic to yourself on the music,
exactly.
I feel like it can be prophetic, or at least trying to help you reveal who you are. But anyways, kind of talking about how to make music. Like, what's your process when you hop into the studio? Like, I know you've helped me learn how to make songs in a different way.
I'll say how I used to do it, right? In which a lot of people usually start this way. They write. They start off without even listening to a beat sometimes.
And then you just write and write.
That's
and then
how
you try
I
to
started.
figure out how to get that to flow onto a beat.
This sounds terrible. I sound like I'm just like reading on a beat. You know, like, how do I bring this to life? Same thing. So I was like, okay, so after a while, I always had like melodies. That's why I called myself Vflo. Like, I had the flow always changing. It's always changing. Every 4 bars, I'm trying to just switch it to something else. So the melody is the first thing that comes to my head. So obviously, find a beat. Find a beat that you like. Find a beat that sometimes you can make a chorus to, but then like something that's really catchy, and then you go to the verse and you're like, I have absolutely nothing. It's all right. Try it out anyways, because that can come back to you later on, right? When you listen to a song, whatever.
One thing
like
I've
that.
figured out, like when you're trying to get there, or you got what you do it a little different than me. But like, even if it's terrible and I'm sucking it up on the track, like just finish the 3 minutes that is.
Your worst song could be the best song.
Because you might find like halfway through there that, I really like those lyrics. I really like that flow. The first part sucks, and
you can always use it for something else. Yeah, you can use that. Well, not the beat, unless. That's just, the beat's usually like the foundation of, so it's like, it's hard to like just.
'Cause that's where the vibe kind of starts, I feel.
Or the melody.
It has to start there.
Yeah.
At least I feel like it should.
Yeah, so
start there.
find a beat. We'll go on YouTube and I just look up free beats. I usually listen to like Playboy Carti beats, Don Toliver. I've been trying to like switch it up with like some Baby Keem type beats. Those are fire. And so like once I find the beat, I'm like, all right, so let's buy this beat, right, and let's put it on FL Studio. And so once I do that, then I go to I go into FL Studio, set up my presets and everything, and I start the beat. I go to record, and then I just like whatever's like on the top of my head, right. But I have to find something I have something catchy with, because if I can't, then it's like, what's the whole point of even making a song, right? Like the chorus is like the most important part. So, and everyone always tells me, like, your chorus is so catchy. Your chorus is so catchy. And it's like, well, that's the attention grabber, right? That's the first thing you're going to see, right? We're talking about the book. There's a book you like, or like the cover. You're like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to check it out. All right, let's see what the first page is like. And then it's like, if you can't grab the person's attention on that first sentence.
Kind of like a video, too. You have to grab their attention to get them to
If you can't grab their
watch the
attention,
rest of your
you can't, if you can't do that, then it's like, they're not going to read the book. They're going to be like, whatever. So it's like, it's the best time to like, throw something at them, boom, bam, whatever it is, but like a video, like start off with a flash, start it off with like crazy movement, start it off with nice like start with like the colors, right, the color scheme, like make it bright, or like how we do it on our videos, like we edit our videos so that way they are more appealing to the eye, like instead of it just being like bland background, you can bring that background to life as well. So yeah, we go to recording. So I usually do like a vibe track, and I just like, I'm terrible at freestyling. Those guys are the best at freestyling. I'm so bad at freestyling. I hope when I make it, right, because we're gonna make
Hot
it.
97,
we're gonna make
you
it.
got it.
Hot 97 is like
Freestyle
all right,
Friday right now. Let's find the beat.
Don't do that to me.
That's how we end the show.
No,
everybody. Even if you're not a rapper, we gotta do a Freestyle Friday before you leave.
Okay, that's all right. Whatever.
On the spot. It's just gonna be his vibe track.
So I do a vibe track, right, and then I'll go back through. And I'm like, okay, like the chorus is like there. So sometimes I even listen, like the beat has a title, and sometimes I go off of that title, and it'll give me an idea, or like something that's relative to that word, whatever it is. So then I'll go off of that, and I'll just try and make my own thing. Or if there's like a melody in my head that like I can make a word out of, like I was telling you the other day, like the Indiana Jones. Like I could hear that melody in my head, and I was like, "What can I rhyme with, Indiana Jones?" If you have the answers, put them.
He's looking for a feature for that.
Drop them, drop them right now, because the song would be like really cool to make. The beats really fire, so it'd just be like it'd be like a nice like go.
How much do you charge for a feature right now?
It's free.
Oh, a free feature right now.
It's
and he's
free.
dropping an album, and he's on a podcast right now.
As long as we're good, if we can contribute
value
into each other, bro, it's always gonna be free. But
how do you feel about local artists that right now are wanting to charge people for features? Even if they got a little bit of clout, how do you feel about somebody like that? Like, oh, I ain't even gonna mess with you unless you pay me $500 or $100.
This is where it gets hard, right?
I feel like right now.
Yeah.
Now, if you're trying to make that your only career choice, I kind of get it. But like, if you haven't hit some certain views or certain points yet, like if you're still on the same level as other people around, like we obviously haven't made it yet, but we're trying to make it. But I feel like collaborating, having fun, and I feel like if I'm paying someone right now to make a song with me, it's more of a business transaction instead of trying to find the beauty in the music. Which some people only want to have the business side of it, right?
Yeah.
But how do you feel about like people on your same level right now charging for features? You don't have to answer.
At the same level, I don't think they should. I do think you should just have fun with it, because that's what we're doing,
right now,
right? Like
sure.
it's gonna be a while till we charge for anything.
What view number do you have to hit, do you think,
I'd
before
say
you start charging?
I would say like you at least gotta have like 20,000. I think you could charge whatever, because you just have as long as there's a consistency and that you can actually go to the page and see like, oh, this person's legit. Like this one guy was charging me 500, but he's way ahead of me in the game. So 500 for someone who has 2 million subscribers, like that's pretty good. Like I'm getting a steal out of this.
Into your music.
I'm getting a steal out of this. So, but as someone who's like on our level, yeah, I feel like you're just trying to cheat people out. And
see, I feel like once you got enough to where you're actually making enough to support yourself, that's kind of the point that you should
start.
But I feel like that shouldn't be like your only thing trying to make money off, because there's ways to make money off of music, right? Yeah. Like making content, you can make money that way, which
exactly.
And I feel like you just got to study how to do that and then actually put the work in to make that content, because there's no free money anywhere, right? You got to put work in, or you're paying somebody a huge percentage of what you're making because they're doing it for you, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a happy medium there. Like if you're really wanting to make this your career path, then yeah, I understand charging for features. But like I feel like you have to have something going with you.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, people use clout like it's a bad thing sometimes, and clout is a good thing. It's just like what you have.
It's like, is it worth my investment? If I put $500 in this song,
what will I get out of it?
Will I get $500 back out of it, or am I just spending $500
just to have this person's name? Yeah,
because like you can spend $500, and either like, or you're buying a lot of views kind of off of that, or you're buying an experience off of that. But if you're just buying $500 feature and you're getting 200-300 views off the song,
yeah.
Like, I feel like, okay, just back up a minute, really hone your game. Not that you shouldn't charge for it. Like, I feel like if you get to a level, then you can charge for it. But if you're only averaging around those views, figure out how to get into the thousands, and then figure out how to get into the 10,000s. And like you're saying, once you got to hit that 20,000 view without buying the views on Instagram or TikTok, like if you're getting legit 20,000 views, because I've seen a lot of people lately, seems like they're just boosting their views. Because like you go to one video, there's 20, 30, 40,000 views. The next video is 500 views. Yeah. And it's like, are you organically getting those, or are you paying $40 a day, $10 a day? Like, how are you getting your views?
Yeah. The thing that's crazy about like being independent or like just having like a record label is that like, dude, if I made it, like, let's say I'm like Lil Baby, right? And I go to make a song with Gunna, obviously.
You're going to have to pay.
Like, you're going to have to pay. But like when you're both at that level, it's like, hey, bro, like, let's just make a song. You know, but like with record labels, it's different. You could be like, oh no, like, you have to do this much because this person is making more or whatever. So I was actually listening, this is real quick. It's like Riff Raff and Wiz Khalifa. And like,
Oh yeah, the
you saw
Ferrari.
that? Yeah, so he had like a song with Wiz Khalifa, and then like their label was like, oh, you have to spend 200 racks or $200,000 to get this feature from Wiz Khalifa. And he's like, okay, let me call bro up. So he calls Wiz, and he's like, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's just the record label. So it's like, because he had a tape coming up, and it's like you're gonna be stealing his views. Like, that's the way they see it. So it's like, if you're not independent, that's a little hard, because then you really got to be like someone who could be at your stature. I mean, Riff Raff wasn't really up to like Wiz. I mean, obviously he's.
All the Riff Raff fans are gonna hate you now.
No, he's a legend for sure, bro. He's a legend for sure. Shout out Riff Raff, but you know what I mean though. Like Wiz Khalifa was just crazy.
Like that's how they're making their money. And I mean, if you want to go charge $500 a feature and you're getting 200, go do it. If someone will pay you that, great.
Yeah, literally.
But I just feel like
pay
sometimes
you,
it's like I feel like you could make a magical song right now that could help elevate two artists or something.
Yeah, no, I feel like they have the talent. You know, I feel like if like let's say you make it right, and there's like some person asking you like, hey, how much do you charge? And you're like, all right, well, first of all, are you good? I'm not just gonna make a song with somebody who's not good, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna do that to myself, if with money or not. Like, it's an art. So I take a lot of pride in my own, and it depends on who's on the song with me as well. Like, I'm not gonna just drop something that I don't think is gonna sound good.
True.
But so going with that is just like, yeah, if you're good, like, let's run it. You know, like, I mean, maybe there should be a fee or something like that, but like really be like, you're helping me out, I'm helping you out. If you're like that good,
you never know when that magic's just gonna snap.
That person could be like bigger than you one day. You never know. So it's always nice to be humble, and just be like, I mean, we're staying.
Which we are trying to be in the R&B hip hop game, so there's not a lot of humbleness going on.
There's not a lot of humbleness,
especially when you get to these competitions and everybody's. I mean, for the most part, it's pretty friendly, but like
everyone's friendly, but there's still like the competition there.
It's like some people make some songs, and some guys are like, "No, I'm too good for you." It's like, man,
yeah. As big as Asheville is,
nothing.
Yeah, as big as Asheville is, it's not really.
Which me, I'm kind of like I like on the actual hip hop, but like I make a different type of music that's probably not as salesy as other people's music. I get that, but there's been multiple people I've like reached out to, and it's like, nah, I'm good, or here's a feature, and it's like, man, I ain't gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
Not that I don't think you're a good artist. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
like to do music for the therapy that music gives me.
Yeah.
For the fun of making music and for the love I have for making music. And like
nice
some people try
to
it'd be nice to get paid for it. So,
at least to make a living off of. I mean,
but,
I don't
I'm
care
all
to
for
be famous.
making money off of music.
I don't care to be famous. I care to have a following, like, because I want to reach people. And that's why I make love songs, because, like, just never know who's going to, like, be going through something and be like, oh, I'm going to pop that Vflo song on. Or, you just like, ETA, like, I'm in the same situation or whatever it is. Like, you can relate to it. So it's like, I don't know. That means more to me than anything. And, I mean, it is cool when someone's like, oh, you're this person.
Or, like, you're, like, walking through the parking lot or something and you hear your song playing. That's
yeah.
That's a pretty cool feeling.
The cool thing, too, is, like, with Apple Music for artists, you can go on there and see if someone's Shazammed your song.
Mm-hmm.
And someone Shazammed my song in Brazil, and I was like, what the heck? Like, and I think it was 2 people, actually.
I've had one total Shazam ever.
So I was like, was somebody... Yeah, hey, that's a good song, though. I would have done it, too. It was weird, though. It was just in Brazil. I was like, that's crazy how it reached that far.
I wonder,
someone,
I've seen
someone
that,
in a club playing my song, Cardi, was
how do they find it in all these other countries? It blows my mind, because, like you'll get, random. 5-10 random views in, like, all these random countries that you've never heard of, and it's like, that's really cool that your music's getting out there.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered, like, how is it getting saw out there?
That's a really good question. I don't know. But I think the more that we put out, right, and just like with the genres that you put on, I think that also like kind of helps reach places as well. Because like I'll put hip hop, but then from a secondary genre, I'll put Latin hip hop, Latin pop. So because it's like, I mean, I'm Hispanic. Some of my songs have Spanish in them.
You're Hispanic?
Yeah. So I'm actually.
Where are you from?
I'm actually born and raised Etowah, North Carolina.
Let's
Not too far. My mom's Mexican, Puerto Rican. My dad's Mexican. So I got a nice combination right there.
Know how to dance pretty good.
Yeah, I was born.
You got a wedding to go to this weekend, don't you?
Shout out my sister. She's getting married this weekend.
Oh,
Yeah, it's gonna be super awesome. I can't wait. And I got a nice tux, bro. Did I tell you the?
So what's the after party look like?
Probably going to my
I heard,
sister's
like,
house.
The Latino weddings can go a little wild.
Oh yeah, so I think they're ending the wedding at 10, and that's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, basically.
Oh,
so
dang.
we're gonna go up to like, I don't know, 2 a.m.
Let's
maybe
go.
maybe longer. Oh, I'm not gonna do that because
Because you got an album to.
yeah, I gotta. So like I already told Max, like next week, after this week, I'm gonna like just chill because I got family coming in. I got my sister's wedding that I gotta like help set up and everything. So I told myself this week I'm gonna take a little break, and then next week I'm gonna try and make a video or edit a video every day until the EP comes out. So I have basically what?
How many pieces of content are you trying to have ready for?
So
the
I would
album?
like to have. So we talked about it. It was like 30 pieces of content for the whole EP. But realistically, I would like to have. So let's say like ETA has 3 choruses and 2 verses. So I'd like to have a video for each one. So that would be 5 right there. And then each one just having like a piece of content for them. Which right now I have like 2 pieces of content for like the verse. So we're on a good track right now. So hopefully 30 would be great. So that way we can drop every day and it just be a different song. So that way people can be like, oh, well, he's posting again, but it's not the same song. Oh, I remember that song. I like that song. And then they might go check it out or something like that. So it's a little bit hard, like different too, to like promote, because you also want to be consistent too. You're like, this guy's just putting random songs out and everything too. So I gotta
I've been
figure
guilty
out.
of this. Is like
gotta
having
figure that
like
out.
1 or 2 pieces of content with one song, and then you're expecting it to blow, but you're only putting it out there once or twice.
Exactly.
And then you have nothing to follow it, and then it's like a month before you post again. Or, okay, this time I got it. I got 7, 8 pieces, and by the time I get to that 8th piece, I'll have more ready.
Yeah.
Well, you get that 7th, 8th piece out, and you've kind of checked out.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to so how much? So you've gotten most of your content shot pre-album. You got the whole month pretty much set aside, and right now you're working on the editing, and the album's still got a week to come out. You're working on getting all that ready. Yeah. So like I feel like that's very important, and maybe some good insight to other people is like if you're really gonna drop this album,
you still got some time. You still got some time. If you put it out to all stores, you still got some time to make some content for it, and it's like very important because when you drop, like you want something to show for it, you know.
And like you want to get them views a month later as well as the day of.
Yeah, exactly. You want people to
first week.
stay engaged, and I think that gives you a head start too, because like you have that month now to put out content. So as you're putting out content, your video is already done. All you have to do is just post. So what can you do now? You can make more content, more songs, whatever it is that you need to do.
Hop back into album mode.
So
but having all that ready February 14th is very, very, very important because then it's almost like I'm not having to think about this. And like on, at least I know Instagram, you can pre-drop all your stuff and you can like drop 10 videos in one night, but have them scheduled to drop. And then you don't even have to think about it. Like every day it's going to drop automatically.
Another thing for content too, whenever the EP drops, I'm posting 5 lyrical videos for each of the songs, which is going to be super cool. So each song will have their own video.
And you're trying to have one music video as well?
I'm trying to have one music video as well. We gotta work that out.
Pump because like even on YouTube, like the first time I dropped a music video, which was in November.
I'd probably drop it the next day.
To the top.
By who? Who's in it?
Like when I first dropped it, like I dropped it like an hour or two before 12, so it didn't have time to process through YouTube. So like the first people that were watching it was watching it like 380p, and it was super blurry, super pixelated, and I was like, oh no. And so then I'm like freaking out because I think my video messed up when it was dropping. Go learn, and it's like, no, you need to be dropping this hours a day before on YouTube, so it has time to process. So then it can be in your 1180. Is that or 1080? Sorry, 1080p. Or your 4K, whichever way you're shooting it.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you're dropping the video. That way, YouTube has enough time to process it. So then, when anybody clicks on it, it's watching it at the highest quality.
I didn't even know that.
I learned that the hard way.
That's cool. I didn't even know that.
Definitely like a 24-hour notice. Because then when I dropped my last song, I dropped it 2 or 3 days on YouTube before it actually came out. But whenever it came out, it was ready to go. All the pixels were there. All the quality was there.
That is true. Yeah. for Cardi.
And you don't have a heart attack
or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
the
not having to
Premiere.
stress about it. And you're like, I just have that. So whenever the clock strikes 12, boom.
How do you upload? Do you use a laptop? You use your phone?
I use my phone, so you have files, right? So you can like if you download your songs from your email to your notes or to your files, you can just go into there in your files and upload it from there.
Straight into YouTube.
Yeah.
I have found that like using a laptop has been like a lot easier
I
to
need to
make
be better at
sure that all your quality and like your writing and like you can add the clickable videos at the end of the video.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like that, especially for like video editing. You're making your music on there. But I mean, if the phone's what you got to use the phone too.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a laptop and I need to be better at it, but
I heard you get more views if you download it through like YouTube Studio. I don't know. I have to look into that a little bit more.
yeah.
But
I mean,
like using YouTube Studio and you have to like click through and there's different settings.
gotcha.
And it just seems to help perform better. But
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a lot of results on that. But
We're gonna get
working on
it though. Yeah, I'm super excited for this to drop, and it's gonna be a fun time. Hopefully, we can have like an after party or something like
For
that.
sure. Are you planning any kind of album release party or anything?
We were talking about that too. So probably not, if we're gonna be fair about it, just because of everything. But if
you
push
are
comes-
performing sometime soon. You said you're performing.
Yeah,
next week?
February 5th. Well, the
After
next time will be the 12th, I guess.
February 12th. Can people come to that show?
People cannot come to that show.
People. Oh, what are you doing? How can they watch that show?
This one's gonna be the wells.com. You can go find them on there. We're actually gonna go and look at them tomorrow because we're gonna be doing some panning.
So that's gonna be 2 days before the album drops.
Yeah, before the album drops. So
Are you performing any of your new songs that night?
I am.
You are.
So everyone can go tune in
So
on
you're gonna
that.
have to
I've already
tune in.
performed two of my
It's
songs.
wells.com.
Yeah, wells.com.
Just wells.com.
I think it's the
Well.
Wells. You can find it on if you go on Google and just
paste
look
the
it up,
link.
and it'll be like in Nashville. Yeah, put the link on there. But that's gonna be super cool. So it's gonna be like our first like live show. Like if it'll be like Saturday Night Live or something like that. So like
so it's gonna
different
be shooting live on the
different
on the
camera.
website.
Yeah, different camera angles. So like you just do your thing. There's gonna be like a couple artists there. Might do
I'll
like
be-
some
I'll
like
be there.
interviewing stuff there as well.
Who all do you know is gonna be there?
So it's gonna be me, Vflo.
iMAXX.
Channel
is gonna be
CG, iMAXX, Daisy's gonna be there. I think Miss Daisy, and who else? I think Danny Grace might be there too.
there. Do you have a time slot?
I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna be starting at 7.
7
I want to
o'clock.
say, yeah. But it's gonna be something different. And we're just gonna like try and test this out.
How can
see
people
it
find
feels.
that link on your socials?
It'll be in my bio. So
It'll
I have
be
a
in your
link
bio.
tree. I have a link tree,
Oh,
so pop it
official.
in there. I'm also gonna do a pre-save link thing. I think I can do that right now too. And I was thinking about this. I might do like a little raffle thing. So if you can pre-save to it, there might be some money coming your way.
Do you got any merch anywhere for sale yet?
I do not have any merch for sale. I need to work on that. I know we've made some hoodies for our performances and stuff, and people have actually really liked them. Hey, where can I get those? Like
Nowhere yet, but it's on the way.
Yeah, we're working on it. So once we get some,
we need a good like manager of I don't know. What am I trying to say there? Like we need a good product. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But
I mean,
we are working on it. We're gonna
me and Chana are definitely gonna brainstorm and try and make a website for sure. I mean, me and you have talked about it as well, just like setting up stuff, just because people want to support. People are like, where can I get one of those? I'm like, this is the only one I have, you know. So especially like family hitting, like, you know, supporting and everything, and friends.
So if people are enjoying this, where can they find you to find your music?
So I'm on all platforms. You can find me on Apple Music, V-FLO. I need to change this, but on Spotify it's VFLO. But yeah, YouTube.
What about YouTube?
YouTube as well. So, you know, Vflo, VFLO. There's no W in it.
There's no W. It
There's
stops
no
with the O.
W. But yeah, I mean, it's been a pleasure. I
It's been
appreciate
a
you having
pleasure.
me on
Yes,
here
sir.
for the first
This is the
podcast.
first
And you
podcast.
know, what we were talking about earlier too. 1 second. We were like, we're gonna look back at this and be like, we were very nervous or like just
yeah.
weird, right? So sorry, this is our first one,
Little
but
awkward.
we're gonna keep on doing this and just like hopefully.
And we do plan on doing a music show once a month, twice
Yeah.
a month, something like that. Bringing on some other guests, having 3 people on the podcast.
Yeah, it'd be super cool. It'd be super fun.
So if you're interested in being in the podcast or
Yeah.
anything,
I mean, I can shout out all the guys in Nashville and stuff, and just come out, bro. Just hit us up. We definitely love
we
to
aren't
have
charging.
you. We are not charging. This is all free. Like, I mean,
And we're not gonna pay for people to be on the show yet, so we gotta make money on here first. Before
exactly. But if you tuned in, I appreciate y'all for watching.
For sure.
This humbled me a lot because I'm very awkward too sometimes.
Yeah.
This is a good learning curve for me. Definitely work on.
If you're gonna make it, we gotta.
Yeah. You
the
can't just be
stuff.
like. I mean, there's cameras out there sometimes whenever you're performing and stuff, but you're performing your song. You know the lyrics, and here is just freestyle. It's off of the dome.
For sure. I had no questions for this. We just kind of.
He said we're just gonna talk. So I was like, sometimes I got ahead of myself, but that's all right.
But again, go check out Mr. Vflo.
Yeah.
Album coming out February 14th
Yes.
on Valentine's Day called The Winter Arc. Thank you, Victor.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Boom.